Black and White Network supporters, make sure you check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. Link in the description. Use promo code USA First, all one word. USA First, all one word. 25% off now.
Now, guys, if there's one thing that I do not trust, it is the federal government. The federal government is run by the left. There's a bunch of corruption in the federal government. This is why I don't believe that the government should be all powerful. And guys, the federal government is way, way, way too big. I actually believe that states should actually really take the lead and have more autonomy from the federal government, because the federal government is corrupt. It is corrupt. We just saw the FBI raid Donald Trump's home a few weeks ago. And this is because the left wants to destroy him. They want to destroy him. They're trying to paint this man as some type of a criminal. But yet at the same time, they want to protect Joe Biden. Joe Biden is corrupt. Absolutely corrupt. Now, when it came to the 2020 election, the big tech overlords did not want you to know about the Hunter Biden laptop. And just recently, folks, like last 4 months or so, the laptop story now is confirmed to be real. We already knew it was real. But however, big tech decided to actually suppress the Hunter Biden laptop story. It was always real, but since it actually came in 2020 during the presidential election, they wanted to protect Joe Biden, because the details on that laptop really does expose the Biden crime family for what it is. Now, Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, which is now called Meta, pretty dumb name if you ask me, but he was actually on with Joe Rogan. And guys, the corruption in the federal government with the FBI, man, on full display. The FBI even tried to protect one Beijing Biden. Over here on the Daily Wire, Zuckerberg, FBI pushed Facebook to crack down on misinformation before Hunter Biden laptop story was published. So the FBI went to the big tech overlords. Folks, I believe this is really kind of the FBI overstepping their boundaries. Now, these social media platforms, these big tech giants, they have become way, way, way too political. Facebook was never supposed to be like this. Twitter was never supposed to be like this. Facebook was just supposed to be a place where people just interact with their friends, that kind of thing. Now they have been bought and paid by the left. And guys, this is just completely insane. The FBI is corrupt, in my opinion. But it says here, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg revealed Thursday on the Joe Rogan Experience that the FBI approached the social media company during the 2020 presidential election and pushed them to crack down on alleged, quote, Russian propaganda before the Hunter Biden laptop story was published by the New York Post. And the Hunter Biden thing was never Russian propaganda. It never was. But however, guys, when it comes to 2016, Hillary Clinton and the Democrats were allowed to actually push that Russia interfered in the 2016 election, that Donald Trump got in because of Russia. And we know that the whole Russia hoax thing was a hoax. But the FBI did nothing about that. But they wanted to protect Beijing Biden. But let's listen to this clip here between Rogan and Mark Zuckerberg here. Let's play it.
How do you guys handle things when they're a big news item that's controversial? Like, there was a lot of attention on Twitter during the election because of the Hunter Biden laptop story. The New York Post.
Yeah, we had that too.
Yeah, so you guys censored that as well?
So we took a different path than Twitter. I mean, basically, the background here is the FBI, I think, basically came to us, some folks on our team, and was like, hey, just so you know, like, you should be on high alert. We thought that there was a lot of Russian propaganda in the 2016 election. We have it on.
And the Russian propaganda thing was false. False.
Notice that basically there's about to be some kind of dump of that's similar to that. So just be vigilant. So our protocol is different from Twitter's. What Twitter did is they said you can't share this at all. We didn't do that. What we do is we have, if something is reported to us as potentially misinformation, important misinformation, we also have this third-party fact-checking program because we don't want to be deciding what's true and false. And for I think it was 5 or 7 days when it was basically being determined whether it was false, the distribution on Facebook was decreased, but people were still allowed to share it. So you could still share it, you could still consume it.
So when you say the distribution is decreased,
it got shared.
How does that work?
It basically, the ranking in newsfeed was a little bit less. So fewer people saw it than would have otherwise. So it definitely...
By what percentage?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's meaningful. But I mean, but basically, a lot of people were still able to share it. We got a lot of complaints that was the case. Obviously this is a hyper political issue, so depending on what side of the political spectrum, you either think we didn't censor it enough or censored it way too much. But we weren't sort of as black and white about it as Twitter. We just kind of thought, hey, look, if the FBI, which I still view as a legitimate institution in this country, it's like very professional law enforcement, they come to us and tell us that we need to be on guard about something, then I want to take that seriously.
Did they specifically say you need to be on guard about that story?
No, I don't remember if it was that specifically, but it basically fit the pattern.
Wow, guys. Wow. I'm just pretty stunned by this. I'm stunned. I mean, Zuckerberg told you right there, the FBI gave them a heads up. This is crazy right here. Folks, the trust in the FBI, man, I mean, these federal institutions are corrupt. They're in the business now of actually trying to suppress information from you, the American people. I got a big problem with that, folks. I have a huge problem with that, and you should too. You should have a major problem when the FBI is actually trying to suppress information. That is not the job of the FBI. Folks, I believe that freedom of speech is definitely under attack, and we know that because we have seen the big tech overlords, crack down. YouTube has its standards. Facebook, Twitter, they've kicked people off platforms. Folks, this is a Marxist push here. This is something that the left wants. They want to silence you. They want to control information. This is crazy. And the big tech overlords, they did it. Mark Zuckerberg said that they suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop story, which was real, because now all of the media outlets, left and right, they're reporting it. But now Joe Biden is in office right now. His approval rating is in the tank. So they just said, hey, we're going to put it out there. We're going to put it out there. The New York Post was right the whole time. The whole time. But the left tried to push it as Russian disinformation when it wasn't. It was real. And maybe he'll get investigated. I'm not really sure. But this was all about protecting one man. Joe Biden, the big guy. 10% for the big guy. Wow, guys. Wow, this should really, really terrify you. This should really, really concern you. That your social media companies, we already knew this, bought and paid by the left, suppressing information. Boy, I wonder what's going to happen here in the midterms, because I know that YouTube, I think it's YouTube actually. I know Twitter did. I believe it's actually Twitter. I could be wrong. They're already gearing up for the quote unquote misinformation stuff when it comes to the midterms. Just imagine what's going to happen in 2024. Wow. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.